Hey everyone, my name is Christina, and today I'm going to take you guys through a mat Pilates workout. It'll be roughly 45 minutes or so, and all you will need is a mat and potentially a blanket, especially if you have sensitive knees, just to add some extra cushioning when we get to those portions. So we're going to start off just in a seated position like I am now. Your legs can be crossed or your legs can be extended out in front of you, whichever you want to be in. Drop your shoulders down from the ears. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, soften the eyelids or just hold a gaze out in front of you. And we're just going to focus on the breath for a moment. Inhaling through the nose, thinking of filling the belly. And then exhaling through the nose, drawing the belly muscles in. And again, inhaling and exhaling. And now we're going to change the breath up a little bit. Still inhaling and exhaling, obviously, but inhaling through the nose and exhaling out of the mouth. So inhale, filling up the belly again, and exhale from the mouth as the belly muscles draw in. And again, inhale and exhale. And keep going at your own pace. Now feel free to open your eyes, and we're going to add some movement to the head and the neck. So your right arm is going to reach up and overhead to the left side of your head. You're going to draw the right ear to the right shoulder. Make sure the right shoulder softens, so you want as much space between the right shoulder and the right ear as you can. Left hand can stay on your leg, or if you want a deeper sensation along the left side of the neck and shoulder, crawl your fingertips away from you out to the side. A little added pressure of the right hand into your head, but not too forcefully. And continue to breathe, inhaling and exhaling. Then you're going to walk your hand to the back of your head as you tilt your chin down, looking towards the right side of your body. And again, just a little bit of pressure downwards will help to feel the sensation now along the back of your neck and shoulder, potentially reaching down into the left shoulder blade and rhomboid area. And then start to walk your hand back to the side of your head. Release your right hand down. Roll your chin to your chest. Roll your left ear to the left shoulder. Roll your chin back to the chest, pausing for a moment, and then lifting your head back on top of the shoulders. Now the left arm reaches up and overhead to the right side, drawing your left ear to the shoulder as the left shoulder drops. And again, right hand can stay on your leg, or the fingertips can reach to the side and crawl out away from the body. And then you're going to walk your hand to the back of your head, turning your chin down slightly towards the left side of the body. And now feeling that sensation go down the back of the shoulder and again potentially into the right shoulder blade and rhomboid muscle. And then start to walk your hand back to the side of your head and release the left arm back down. And then rotate the chin to the chest, right ear to the right shoulder, chin back to the center of the chest and pause, and then lifting the head back up on top of the shoulders. Awesome. All right, so now coming down onto your back, roll yourself carefully down. You're going to keep your knees bent and your feet planted. Make sure that they're parallel and about sit bone or hip distance. Your arms are going to come down to your sides, and we're going to be working on the two upper abs. So we're coming up into what's called a head roll up, and traditionally the arms will lift and float as your head and chest lift. So inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, tip your chin forward, reach your fingertips towards your heels, just lifting slightly off the shoulder blades, and then as you inhale, roll back down, back of your head and palms meet the floor. And again, exhale, curling up, reaching fingertips towards your heels, looking out towards your belly button, and then releasing with the inhale. Exhale from the mouth, belly muscles pull you up, and belly muscles help to release you back down. Try to do this without any shift of your pelvis. So you're in a neutral spine or neutral pelvis, and neutral spine pretty much from the rib cage down. And then just the upper back is rounding and lowering back down. Do a couple more just like that. And when you release next, keep your head and your arms planted. Now we're going to come into a tucked position. So tucked or posterior tilt of the hips means to press the low back into the mat and tuck your tailbone like you're reaching it up towards the ceiling. So if you notice, neutral position, pubic bone and front hip bones are flat and level. Tucked or posterior tilt has that tuck of the tailbone and abs pressing, low back pressing into the mat. So we're going to tuck and release back out to neutral. So you press the low back, tuck the tailbone, and release. And if it doesn't feel like a whole lot, that's okay, because it should be a very subtle, minimal movement, just articulating the low back. And then the next time you're in the tucked position, I want you to hold it there. In the tucked position, using your pelvic floor muscles, you're going to pick the right knee and foot off of the floor into a chair position, and then set the foot down without releasing the tuck. Then the left foot's going to lift, bringing the knee above the hip bone and lowering the foot back down. And again, lifting the right foot and knee up, maintaining your scooped, tucked position on the abs and the hips. And left knee lifts and lowers. Make sure you're still breathing. I personally like to exhale on the lift and inhale on the lower. One more round each side, lifting the right knee up and down. And one more with the left knee up and down. Good. Now release the tuck of your tailbone, coming back out to neutral. So to find neutral, you could even go into a slight tilt and then rock back into your tucked position, and then find the midway point, and that should be your neutral, where again, hips are flat. So neutral spine, neutral hips, you're going to do again, lifting the right knee and foot. So not allowing any tuck or tilt of the pelvis, lift the right knee, and then set the foot down. And then the left leg comes up right above the hip bone, and back down. And the right leg again lifts and lowers, trying not to move the hips or the spine. Easier said than done. And just notice if you feel any differences between this neutral spine and neutral pelvis and the tucked version that we did just before. And last one, right leg up and down, and left leg up and down. Great. All right, so from here, we're gonna be rounding up into the body, so you're curling your knees in. I want you to hug yourself into your knees, pull your knees in. It's okay if your low back rounds a little bit, and you're gonna hold this position. Your neck muscles have to work a little bit, that's why we tried to stretch them out. Draw your belly muscles in, it's okay, like I said, if the tailbone tucks slightly. And then from here, you're gonna roll all the way back down, hands and feet come to the mats. Good. Now we're gonna go into an exercise called the 100. And so the 100 can be done a few different ways. Your feet can stay on the floor, you can bring your knees into that tabletop position, or your legs can start lengthened out on the mat and they will lift up to about 45 degrees and hover over the floor. So I'm gonna do the modified version of knees over the hips, just because I feel like that's a safe place for the majority of people. Your arms are gonna go up to the sky. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, curl up, just that little head roll up, and arms hover. Then you're gonna inhale, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 3, 4, 5. Pulsing the arms. Exhale, 3, exhale, 4, exhale, 5, exhale, 6, exhale, 7, exhale, 8, exhale, 9, you got it, exhale, last one. Exhale, 3, 4, 5, reach the arms up, rest your head, and then hug your knees in. Feel free to rock from side to side. Usually feels pretty good on the low back. All right, now you're gonna make your way up into another rounding into your knees. So you're gonna hug your knees in, round up. You're gonna hold onto your right knee as the left leg extends. Think of lifting yourself a little higher and trying to reach your knee to your nose. Stay lifted on your torso and switch, and switch. Nice pointed toes, hugging your knees in for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hug both knees in and rest the head. All right, our next one is gonna be extending both legs out and drawing both knees in. Your arms are gonna be down by your side, palms facing in, and as the legs extend, you'll open the arms. As the knees pull in, your arms will squeeze. So it looks a little like this. You curl your head and chest up, rounding slightly like a ball. Arms are gonna release down by your sides. You extend the legs and arms open. Exhale, squeeze everything in. 2, and 3, and 4. Try not to move the hips. 5, 6, 7, last one, and 8. Hug the knees in, rest your head one more time. All right, now we're gonna do scissor kicks. Legs go straight up to the sky, pointed toes. Hands are gonna come behind the head, and you're going to curl your upper body up to look towards your knees and your thighs. Try to use your belly muscles to stay lifted. Your right leg is going to lower, the left leg kicks towards you, and then switch, left leg lowers. And again for 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Release your hands, hug your knees, and lower the head. All right. Now we're going to go into double leg lowers. Your hands can prop slightly under your hips. That's going to be a little bit more of a modified version. Or your hands can be behind your head as the head and chest are lifted. So I'm going to do the modified version today just so you can kind of see how it looks. Your legs, again, go up to the sky. You flex your feet. You connect the heels and separate your toes so you're in Pilates V. Once again, curl the head and chest up. And you're going to lower the legs down for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and lift. 2, 3, 4. Lower 2, 2, 3, 4, and lift. 2, 3, 4. Lower 3, 2, 3, 4. Lift. 2, 3, 4, and 4. 2, 3, 4, and lift. 2, 3, 4. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, and lift. 2, 3, 4. Release your hands, hug your knees in, rest the head. All right, getting into the obliques a little bit. We're going to go into crisscross, but I'm going to do a variation of this one. Usually crisscross goes back and forth, literally going into that crisscross action. Hands behind the head, curl yourself up, keep your right knee in and extend your left leg and twist towards the right knee. So you're twisted to the right, you're going to hold this position, pump the left knee in and out, and in and out for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now switch, left knee and right leg out, hold, and pump the right leg in and out. 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and last one, 8. Draw the knees in, release your hands, hug the knees in, and again, rock from side to side. And then lower your feet down, extend your legs, reach your arms overhead, allow your belly muscles to stretch. And then walk your feet and your knees back in, hug your knees in, and then roll up to a seat, or you can roll to one side and press up. All right, so next we're going to do a little variation of the roll back. So your legs can be bent or they can be fully straight and lengthened out. I'm going to start with a little bend to the knees, so not too bent, just a little bit of bend, but some extension still. Your arms are reaching over the legs, your spine starts straight. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone. Your legs might straighten a little bit and hold in this tucked and rolled back slightly position. Your arms are going to lift up and down, and up and down. Thinking of biceps by the ears, and then coming back down in line with your chest and shoulders. Maintaining the scoop and the rounded flexed spine. 2 more, lift and lower, inhale and exhale, then rolling over the legs. Give yourself a really big hamstring stretch. And then rolling up the spine, bone by bone. Legs again can stay straight or slightly bend. Good. Now you're going to do that again. You're going to roll back about half or quarter of the way. Turn your palms to face each other, almost like a hug a tree position. You're going to open the arms and then squeeze. Create some tension, some resistance in your pec muscles, like you're actually trying to squeeze something in between your arms. Inhale, exhale. And again, 2 more. And last one. And then rounding forward, reaching over the legs and fold, releasing. And then rolling back up, stacking the spine and reaching the arms back out. And again, you're gonna roll back, stay in that tucked position, turn your palms to face each other, imagine you're squeezing a block. You're gonna rotate to the right, not allowing your hips to twist, and center. Twisting slightly to the left, and center. Keeping your shoulders level and dropped down away from the ears, and twist, center, and to the right. Taking your gaze with the arms. And last one. And then again, rounding forward, folding over the legs. And stacking the spine. Final one. You're going to be curling back again, palms face each other. Keep the left arm reaching forward. The right arm is going to reach up and back. Take your gaze behind you, and then it reaches back up and in. Left arm reaches up and back, and up and in. And up and back, and up and in. One more round each side, up and over to the right. And up and over to the left, finishing strong. Rounding forward, reaching over the legs. Reach for your toes, hamstring and spine stretch. All right, roll up the spine. And you're going to roll onto your right side. So we're going to do some side lying single leg exercises. Not nearly the whole series that Pilates has, but make sure your spine is in line with, for instance, if you have the back edge of your mat, lower yourself down, and you can hold your head in your hands, or you can lower your head all the way down. Stack your legs and pitch them slightly in front of your hips. So tailbone is reaching towards the bottom edge of your mat, and your toes are slightly to the front edge of your mat. Left hip is truly stacked on top of the right, and you're reaching your hips down and away from you. Your hand that is free can support you in front of the body. Keep your gaze forward. Your top leg is going to stay parallel and flexed, and you're going to lift up and down, and up and down. So notice I'm not going very high. All we're really searching for is where the hip and the leg crease, trying not to have any movement happen with the left hip. And so that's where sometimes flexing the foot can help a little bit, like you're pushing energy out through the heel, lengthening your leg away from the hip, up and down, using your outer hip and glute muscles. Usually doesn't take a whole lot of these to start to feel it. And then the last one, lift and lower. Now from parallel position, you're going to externally rotate. So from the hip socket, your leg externally rotates, your toes slightly turn up. Maintain that position as, again, you lift up and down. Think of squeezing the inner thighs, almost as if you're trying to connect your heels together. Lifting and lowering, belly muscles stay pulled in. And again, your chin lifted and gaze straight out in front of you. Try to avoid looking down at your feet and breaking the line of your spine. Good, last one, up and down. And then we're gonna go from externally rotated all the way through parallel into an internal rotation. So now toes point down. And again, you kick up, think of like you're reaching with your heel, and down. And lift, and lower, lift, and lower. Should really be feeling those outer hip and glute muscles now. And last one, lift and lower, and rest the leg down. Good. Sometimes tapping the hip out helps release it a little bit. All right, with a pointed foot this time, lift your leg in line with your hip, and you're gonna do little baby circles. So we're gonna go forward for 1, 2, 3, 4, trying to stabilize the hips. 7, 8, 9, and reverse the direction. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And rest it down. Flexing the foot again, lift the leg in line with your hip. You're gonna swing the leg forward, point the toes, and swing the leg back. Just enough to squeeze the glutes, not enough to affect, again, the hips or the spine. Again, hip stability here. Nice long lines with the legs reaching through the heel, reaching energy out through the toes as you press back, flexing forward, pointing back and extending. And again, last one forward. And last swing back, and then rest the leg. Now before we go to the other side, reach your left hand back, bend your knee, reach for the top of your foot and ankle, and then send your hips forward, send your left knee down towards the bottom edge of the mat, and allow the left shoulder to roll back as well, thinking of pulling your heel to your glute for a quad stretch. And then carefully release. And you can either press up and flip sides or just simply roll over onto your other side. So coming onto the left side, making sure your spine is nice and in line. Your legs are stacked but slightly in front of your hips, belly muscles pulled in, and your right shoulder back and down from the ear. With a flexed foot, you're gonna lift and lower the top leg up and down. Lift and lower. And last one, up and down. Now going into external rotation, turning your toes up, and repeat. Lift and lower. Think of squeezing the inner thighs together and trying not to let the right hip roll forward or back, but staying truly on top of the left hip this time. And last one, up and down. And now going into internal rotation, toes point downward and kicking up and down. Belly muscles are held in. last one, up and down, and rest the leg. Tap it out. All right, with a pointed toe, lifted leg in line with your hip, going into circles. Forward for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, reverse, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest the leg. Now with the flexed foot, lifting up, staying the level of your hips, swing forward, and then point the toes and swing back. And flex, reach through the heel, and point, extend through the toes. And swing forward and back. And last one, forward. And last one, back. And lower the leg down. Very nice. All right, so before we release from here, you're going to take your top leg, bend it back, reach your right hand for the top foot, and then stretch out the quad, pointing your knee towards the bottom edge of the mat. Nice big deep breath in and out. Carefully releasing. Go ahead and just roll onto your back. Bring yourself back onto your mat. And because we did the left leg first, we'll start stretching that leg as well first. Left ankle is going to cross on top of the right knee. If that's not enough of a stretch for your outer hip and glutes, specifically your piriformis, then you're going to pick your right foot up, reach behind the right knee, and draw the right leg in a little deeper. You can hold on behind the knee, on top of the knee. Just try to soften the shoulders and your facial muscles. And breathe. Carefully start to release. Set the left foot down. Bring the right foot on top of the left knee. And again, if that's enough, you can stay here. If not, pick the left foot up. Draw your left knee into the body and hold. Softening again the shoulders. And again, carefully releasing the feet back to the floor. From here, you're going to roll over onto your belly and chest. Think of making an X with your body. So your feet go to the edges, wide edges of your mat. You're going to reach your arms forward and also be the width of your mat. And then your forehead can either rest or hover onto the mat as well. So you're going to think of lifting one appendage at a time. So your right arm is going to lift up and down, then the left, then the right leg, and the left leg. However, I want you to think of your trunk, your torso, your hips not moving. And so when your right arm lifts, go ahead and start to lift it up. Try not to twist the rest of your body. Press the pubic bone down into the mat, especially at the moment of lifting the legs. Left arm up and down. Then left leg, reaching energy through the toes. So you're lifting the whole leg, not just the bottom portion. And the left leg. And you'll repeat, lifting the right arm up and down, then the left arm up and down, then the right leg up and down, squeezing the glutes and hamstrings to lift. Now you're going to lift both arms up and down, and then both legs up and down. And arms again, up
and down, and legs by themselves. Good. Now everything is going to lift together, including the head and a little bit of the chest. So as you lift your gaze, you lift your arms and your legs like you're reaching out through the fingertips and back with the toes, and lower down with the exhale. And again, inhale, rise up, and exhale, lower. Whole back chain of your body is working to lift and lower down as the belly muscles draw in. Do that one more time, and lift and lower. Now I want you to imagine like you're doing a jumping jack lying on your belly. So you're going to lift up as your legs open, your arms come down. As your legs close, your arms lift. So you jump jack the arms and legs, keeping them hovered off of the floor. Arms come down as the legs open. Arms squeeze as the legs squeeze. Couple more. 2 more. And the last one. And then everything lowers down with control. Take your palms, stack them under the forehead, and shake the hips out from side to side. Now take your hands under your shoulders, gently press back into a child's pose. Your knees go to the edges of your mat, big toes together, sink your hips to the heels, and reach your arms out, lowering your chest and your forehead. Deep breath here. And then walk your hands in, lift yourself up to a tabletop position. Now from tabletop position, you want to make sure that your knees are right under your hips and your palms are right under your shoulders. From here, I want you to tuck your toes under, and you're going to be lifting your knees and hovering, but draw your belly muscles in, drag your shoulders from the ears. Gaze is out onto your mat, just slightly in front of your fingertips to keep the back of your neck nice and long. Tailbone is reaching out. So imagine hovering your shins so they're parallel with the floor. Inhale, exhale, draw the belly muscles up. Think of softening the rib cage. And last one, inhale, and exhale, lower, untuck the toes to the tops of the feet. All right, we're gonna stretch it out a little bit here, you guys. The left hand stays on the mat, the right arm is gonna reach up as you twist, and then you thread under, coming down to the right shoulder, and resting the right side of your head. Pausing here for a couple of breaths to stretch open the right shoulder blade along the back of the body. And then when you inhale next, press into your left arm, reach the right arm up to the sky and twist, and then bring the hand back to the mat and readjust for the left side. So right hand stays on the mat, left arm inhales and twists up. Exhale, thread under and through, landing onto the left shoulder. And when you inhale next, press into your right arm, twist up to the sky, and left hand can come back down. Awesome. All right, just roll to one side, bringing your hips back. Come into a seated position here, any way that's comfortable. Legs crossed, legs extended. Arms are gonna reach out to the side. We're gonna do alternating side bends. So make sure you're not leaned too far forward. You wanna be right on top of the sit bones. So if you gotta move some meat around, make sure you feel your sit bones under you. Take a deep breath in,
And as you exhale, side bend to your left, right hand comes to the floor, left arm reaches over, making sure that the left hip doesn't lift. Keeping your gaze straight forward, and then lifting back up, growing tall through the crown of the head and the spine. And exhale up and over to the right, left hand to the floor, right arm overhead. Right hip stays soft and anchored to the floor. And again, lifting back up to neutral, growing tall with the inhale. And exhale up and over. Inhale to lift. Exhale to side bend. And inhale to lift. And exhale, side bend. Finishing up the last one. Inhale to lift. Side bend up and over to the left. And then inhale, lift, stacking the spine and arms lower down. Good. Just let your arms hang down by your sides, or they can gently rest on top of your legs. They can even come into your lap. Wherever you are, just make sure that the shoulders are nice and open. Your chin is slightly lifted. And we're going to come back to our breath. So feel free to close your eyes once more. Inhaling this time again through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Aiming to slow the breath down in both directions. So a slow, deep inhale and a slow and deep exhale. Noticing if your body feels different. If you notice any subtle changes now that you've done your workout. If your eyes are closed, softly flutter them back open. And thank you so much, you guys, for joining me in this mat Pilates class. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you breathed deeply and moved your body strongly. I look forward to being back here and guiding you guys through another practice in the future. We'll see you later, y'all. Bye.